Well, thanks for coming out, everybody. I know it's late on a Monday and we have finance to prepare for, so thanks for giving us a couple minutes. But I just want to say two quick things. One, how I got here, and two, what I think I can do for the club. My background, for those of you who don't know me, again, my name is Jim Royce, is in small business. I've started and run a couple of them, and it was by no means a given that I was going to go into consulting when I came here. But after a couple career coaching sessions and then meeting Pablo at Town Hall at a bar, we got to talking, and it started to flow very naturally from there. And the leadership from Jonah and Pablo to Ryan and Amanda, whose position we're running for, to all the leaders of Trek and Career Day have been instrumental in sort of handing me off, whether they know it or not, from one to the next and getting me more of an understanding of what this industry is and what it takes to be successful. To the point where now I really want to be involved in the management and the leadership. To the point where I haven't run for any cohort or SGA positions. This is the one that I wanted to run for, which leads me to specifically what I think I can do. The casework itself specifically is where I feel my value add is. I tend to be a bit of a workhorse, and speaking to Ryan, it's clear that he and Amanda have taken the casebook from a position of where it wasn't one of Georgetown's best aspects, and have brought it up to speed. He and I were discussing just last week what more needs to be done on that front. And I know that there's going to be a slog and a lot of hours, which is something that, once I'm passionate about something, is something I feel like I really can do. There are other aspects that Dave is going to talk about, but that's what I want to start with. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Jen.
Sure.
Hi, everybody. I think I know most of you, if not all of you, but just a short introduction. David Liu from China, and 5 years consulting experience in Asian Pacific area, specialty in environmental and risk management consulting. So I decided to run with Jim because we both believe this is the most, this is the position that we can contribute most of our ability to the club, especially to the next year, the M18s. I'll just try to keep it short because we are on time. Right? Yes. So there are basically 3 points we want to achieve. The first one, I would say, we want to enhance our trainings and practice on behavioral questions because we already done a lot of a very good job on the case interview, on case prep. But I keep hearing there are a lot of students saying, we don't really know how to answer these behavioral questions. I got grilled the first time when I have a mock behavioral interview with the coaches, and I was literally sweating. So that is the first thing we want to enhance. The second point would be we want to add some more industrial specific case into our casebooks. Like I believe most of you attended the Deloitte case workshop. That was the first time I saw a federal case and a technology case, how those cases are, and how you're going to attack those cases, how you're going to crack it. So that is the point I think we should enhance a little bit more, just to add some more cases in different specific areas like healthcare, like technology consulting into our casebook. All right.
And so lastly, we just want to brainstorm some ideas of maybe getting a consulting group, Google Calendar, or some other things to prevent people from feeling left behind. It was something that it was Jonah, what he said today about making sure to submit to the employer's website in addition to the ones through MCV, and that was the first time I had heard that today. And if I happen not to have attended this lunch and learn, I don't want to be put behind. So we really want to brainstorm ways to make sure that people who are engaged and want to pursue a career in consulting don't get left behind just because they missed one little piece of information, because there is so much. Okay, so that's it. We'd be happy to take any questions.
Any questions?
Saul?
Sorry.
Yeah.
When you were speaking about enhancing the behavioral interview aspect, do you see that as like augmenting the career center, or enhancing or replacing?
It's both. We're definitely not going to replace the career center's job, but what we want to do is more specific on the consulting firm's questions, like why consulting? why this consulting firm other than that consulting firm. So these are some general questions, but only for consulting industries. So that's the behavioral question. We want to get the MA team prepared, more prepared. Thanks.
Yes? All right.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Next we have Mike and Jim.
The other Jim.
Yeah, the Jim.
Just one Jim.
Hi everybody, thank you for coming tonight. I'm Jim Ryan and this is Mike Rose and we're running for VP of Career. A little about myself. I am from the Hampton Roads area and spent the last 5 years managing a real estate portfolio where many of my clients were too small to hire outside professional services firms, so they came to me as their banker for strategic help and project planning.
All right, I know most of you guys as well. Yeah, Mike Rose. So I come from a very non-traditional background. I worked in sports for a bunch of years, worked in Zimbabwe, did some nonprofit work. I think it's actually really important for somebody in this role to be from a non-traditional background. I think it helps guide people through cases in a manufactured way that we learn in a class like strategy or marketing. So just to start, here are 3 points. This is our LOI. So first, we want to start with coordinating better with our career center. So I think there's been some complaints on communication on event postings and MCV. We want to make sure we get emails out to people about when those are posted. We also want to work on getting historical information on drop dates for applications. So basically, it's tough to find the exact dates, I think for a lot of, especially the big 3 firms, but showing those dates about when they are lets people plan and put their resumes and cover letters together. We talked about GMAT prep a little bit earlier, so it's kind of along the same lines. For companies, timing of preparation I think is crucial. So like today we did the cover letter prep. I think maybe having that a little earlier, having people prep those, I guess, for job applications that are end of the month in November might be good. Other things, briefing for career day, other things, let's see, sessions for giving overviews on specific industries. You kind of touched on that a little bit. So yeah, I'll let Jim finish up here.
Sure. Amanda and Ryan have done a great job building out our casebook in the past year. Sorry. And we'd like to continue to enhance that. No major changes, but our competition previously touched on it, building out the book with specific industry cases, federal cases, tech cases. Also taking best practices from some of the other books that we have from other schools. Some they have industry outlines, industry overviews. If we could get a ranking of easy, medium to hard cases included in there, as well as having, say, Bain-specific cases versus Deloitte-specific cases, depending on what people might be looking for specifically. I think that'd be a great help and also maybe save some people time and get their focus in the right place. Overall, Mike and I, sports has played a large part in our lives, and in that, it's constantly ingrained in you to give back to people, especially when someone has helped you in a large way, give back to those that are younger than you, and also give back to the M17s who will also be looking for jobs. So I think that is certainly one sense of why we want to do this and put Georgetown in a better place than we found it. Thank you.
Questions?
Yes.
So I think that's a new trend in consulting interviews that people would give group cases that you do it together as a group, and it could have a pretty different dynamic and strategy. How are you guys planning on incorporate that?
That's certainly something we could add to the book and include. I know some of the recent hires from Deloitte had group cases as well, so that'd be something that once people get invited to interviews, we could start combining groups of people who are interviewing for those firms and working on those.